The loser bracket continues. Meta Madness with another best of 5. Today we're starting things on Tomb of the Spider Queen as Nick goes up against Daykwaza. And especially Team Daykwaza seems to be highly motivated. I entered Battle.net and immediately I got spammed by Breeze in private messages as he told me like, we are going to crush today. And I'm like, alright. Let's bring it. So, as per our usual agreement, Meta Madness, we have 20 heroes completely banned. So those heroes can't be played in the entire tournament. And every single hero that you see within a series can only be played once. So the 10 heroes played in game number 1 cannot be picked again in any of the additional matches within the best of 5. So with that, we are guaranteed to see some compositions that are out of the box, especially when we are looking towards game number 5. I mean, we had, what was it yesterday? Ragnaros, Gazlo, Cho'Gall, Asmodan was played. Honestly, I can't even remember half the stuff that we saw there. But yeah, definitely some crazy picks and bans throughout the day. And the last series of the day, the best of 5, was just incredible. So today we are going to finish Meta Madness and we're starting in the loser bracket. We're continuing here. Team Daykwaza in particular seems to be eager to still make it to the grand final. The winner bracket final later on should also be quite interesting. There we're going to see Team Make against Team Dino, and it's going to be good stuff. Meta Madness as usual sponsored by Hightech. So again, check out the link in the video description, guys, if you want to support the tournament. And if you happen to be on Twitter, send them a tweet and definitely send them a quick thank you for all of this, because the event wouldn't be possible without them. Actually, not only Mephisto being banned, we have the Mage Rage apparently on Team Nick. Chromie and Mephisto both eliminated. And at the same time, Gul'dan as a first pick. But Ana isn't being picked together with him, so there's no nano-boosted Gul'dan. But now that we have Ana even as a first pick, you can of course still combo quite a lot of cool stuff with her. We've seen nano-boosted Cassias and a whole lot of other stuff. Marlo goes into an early Garrosh here. And given that it's Tomb, I'm currently like thinking about what exactly I would still like to have here. I mean, we had a couple of fall stats as well. I'm more so surprised that we didn't have any of the crazy side lane picks yet for Tomb of the Spider Queen specifically. But here comes Breeze's Tyrael and Urel. Yeah, Breeze and his Tyrael, they definitely created quite a lot of havoc throughout the entire tournament. It already started in the group stage, but it got worse after that. A lot of teams have now begun to ban Tyrael out against him, but whenever they don't, they usually try to pick him up quickly. And the same is, at least to an extent, true for his Diablo and also his ETC. So those are probably the top 3 heroes for him at this point. Malfurion gets banned. And what do you ban out against? Actually, Rutzo is playing on the other side. That could be a Zarya ban. You already have a Garrosh. Do you really want to give them Zarya here? It's actually a bit shocking that Zarya wasn't banned yet. Normally what we see happening is Zarya being banned instantly in the first ban rotation. And there she is. Okay. Yeah, I think they might have forgotten as well. They're like, wait a second. They're actually playing with Rutzo today, so we need to get rid of her. Especially with Garrosh in the mix already. That's a combo that you don't want to give them. Not happening. Okay, double pick for Team Nick. We get Lulnora. And we have Leoric. That's already a really nice front line. You get Leo for the bot lane. The 1 versus 1. He has all the wave clear that it brings to the table. Gets the Entomb later. I can upgrade that too. Of course, there is quite some mobility on Tyrael and on Urel already. So we'll see how much value the Entomb really gives them before he hits level 20 and gets upgraded. Still need a support. So far we don't have anything yet for the blue team, so they gotta lock it in now. But again, first game, so plenty of options still available. They go for the Kane, and they go for the Birdie. We get Falstad. Definitely 2 heroes that if not on Tomb of the Spider Queen, we would have probably seen on Infernal Shrines, always assuming that the map is going to be played later. And our final pick for map number 1 for Rutsu. Now that his Zarya has once again been denied to him, what is he getting this time? It's Tychus. Okay, so we had Lunara and Tychus. Tychus another good one here, of course, for Tomb. But a lot of these heroes would have also excelled on Infernal Shrines. And let's not forget about that. Always with the next map in mind. I'm pretty sure we're going to see Infernal between these two. But either way, map number 1, best of 5 series, Meta Madness, everybody. We're still in losers bracket. Let's jump into the first game between Team Daykwaza and Team Nick. Daykwaza against Nick on the left side. In blue, we have the man himself on Yrel, Breeze playing Tyrael, Khaldor on Gul'dan going into the Echoed Corruption on level 1, so not sticking it out with a Fell Flame build or anything like that. We got No Game No Life on Falstad and Henning on Deckard Cain. Over on the right side of the map, Nick on Lunara. Marlow is playing Garrosh for the first map in the Best of 5 series. We get Rutsu and Tychus, Anna played by Yazu, and Maitrai is playing Leoric. Okay, boys, let's go and let's see which team takes the lead here, who gets the first blood. And if we... nice sleep dart. Really good sleep dart, actually. And let's see how Breeze can perform here on Tyrael today, if he can pull it off once more, or if he's going to struggle a bit against Nick's team. The sleep darts are definitely on point. Yazu has been proven to be an absolutely fantastic asset to the team throughout the tournament, not only in the support role. There's a couple of performances as Anna in particular, or as Tyrande, where he was just fantastic. But we have also seen him, of course, in some different roles, and he has been crushing it for them. So, very impressive. We'll see what they're going to do here today now against Team Daykwaza, since the blue team seems to be very ambitious and has high hopes to win this series and move on all the way to the grand final. So we're going to figure out if that's happening or not. But either way, down to the bottom of the map, Daykwaza has now taken control over the lane. Everybody else is still rotating around, and the first team has already started with their own mercenary camp, headed over towards the Bruiser camp. And the same is now also going on for the red team, as they are starting to go straight for it. Yeah, No Game No Life, collecting a few more gems here. Has to be careful. Marlow's obviously looking to get a hit here all time around. We got Henning and Khaldor on the left side. 3 stacks up to this point on the Echoed Corruption, nothing too crazy. And Maitrai is moving down to the bottom to go for the Siege Giants, and he's not alone. Falstad is flying in, he helps out, but the rest of the red team is also making a rotation. Lunara, the only one missing here, and thanks to Daykwaza and his displacement, they snack the Siege Giants up and are able to zone them away. So far, so good. Team Daykwaza gets a tiny advantage thanks to the Siege Giants. The rotation was just a little bit crisper. And since we had Lunara in the middle dealing with the Bruiser camp that was set en route by the blue team, we couldn't really do too much about this anyways. With the level 4 talents, we get the Hand of Freedom again for Lunara, for Yrel. And we got the first kill. Gul'dan is down, so that's already one mage taken care of. They defended everything in the mid lane too. Indomitable is now in. We got the bigger they are, another flip, and the birdie trying to get away here, but that might not happen either. No Game No Life dies. Well done by the red team. Breeze collects a few more of the gems that have just now been lost, but that's Team Nick off to a great start with 2 kills to 0. Weren't able to get the Siege Giants at the bot lane, but they definitely made more than up for it with those kills here in the middle that we just saw a second ago. Up to the top. Deckard Cain all alone against Lunara. I mean, I have a prediction to make. I don't really think that's going all too well for him in the bigger scheme of things. Nah, he's no Sprite Chicken anymore. That's what we got Falstad for. Talking about Falstad, he gets attacked but is able to barrel roll out. Is being hit hard by the sleep dart though, and Marlow comes in and that's the birdie. Down, nice. Another kill. Team Nick is hungry. They want some chicken, and they got some chicken. Okay, so that's actually kill number 3 for them. And I think Breeze has been lying to me. He promised that they are going to make this a couple of very quick games. He's been saying, like, just you wait, we're going to crush everybody. And now what we're seeing instead is them struggling through the early game, and Team Nick establishing an advantage in experience, a little bit in structures, and more importantly, in gems. Which could definitely be a real bad moment for them, for the blue team, if you're gonna get those web weavers, and here they are. So let's see how the defense works out for them. They got some wave clear, so it's not like they are helpless, but this might still become a bit of a bigger problem for them now. Top lane is already getting pressured. Right now you gotta be careful that nobody dies. If somebody dies right now, then it's, I don't want to say lights out, but you might even lose the first fort here. And we've seen some crazy stomps in the tournament, of course, too. But normally when we're talking about the first objective, you don't really want to lose more than a couple of walls and towers, maybe you're going to lose out on one fort, but even that is usually a stretch. For now, though, down to the bot lane. It seems like Daykwaza, yeah, he has to deal with this somehow, and needs to also be very careful with the 20 gems that he's holding. And that is really where we're seeing the most value at this point in time for Team Nick. Daykwaza is pushed back at the top. They've also started to damage the fort, so the wall has already been taken down. It's not too bad. Leo is still doing his thing down here, and they are able to take another wall down, do a bit of work at the fort itself. Everybody else is currently still sitting either in the middle or up at the top lane in the case of Falstep. He's been taking the Web Weavers down. And Nick's team with a solid lead here. Nothing too crazy again, but they got what they wanted out of the first Web Weaver wave. If they can get a little bit more, if they're somehow able to get a kill, maybe 2, and then can aim for the fort, that would have of course been the ideal scenario for them. But as it stands already, that's a solid opening. It's nothing crazy, nothing to write home about, but it's definitely a solid start for them. And of course they still maintain the lead in experience. Seems like they're going to try and go for the chicken again. And the bird is low, but so is Rutsu. So he had to fall back too. Breeze has 28 gems now. It's actually Breeze and Daykwaza that hold most of the gems here. And they are just trying to somehow sneak around Team Nick in an attempt to get the turn in. But at least for now, it hasn't happened yet. They haven't turned in a single gem. Yeah, not even one. But here we have it. Our level 10 with the Thornwood Vines. We have also Odin. And that gives them a bit more control over the turn-in point now too. So technically they could and maybe should try to turn the gems in that they're holding. As long as the blue team doesn't have level 10 abilities. But they missed that window. Albeit a small one, it was still there. Here comes another play. Maybe might try. Is he going to land an Entomb here? Is he even trying? There's the Horrify. And Leo is dead. Leo down. The rest of the team still on the move. But with the Leoric dead and 5 gems lost, there's the opportunity for the blue team to move in and get their turn in. Daykwaza with 35 gems right now. I mean, if this continues, then it looks more and more like he wants the special mount. The secret mount of Tomb of the Spider Queen. Okay. No secret mounts right now. But they have 82 gems, so they actually have a fair amount here. And there is now a turn-in opportunity for the red team as well. I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but they only need one more gem and then they can get that. I'm actually lying, they need another 11. So yeah, a little bit farther away than I thought, but still in range, I'd say. So if they are this diligent about preventing the opponent from turning in, then they have a chance. But in we go, 43 gems now, finally delivered by Daykwaza and his team. Marlow is under pressure for just a second. Tries to make a play against Breeze, that hasn't really worked out yet. And both teams have a turn-in opportunity now. So let's see who gets the next one. And we are now at 8 minutes in the game. So level 11. Ooh, big damage against Lunara. Yeah, careful, Bambi. I won't get nasty quickly. If you're running straight up into Gul'dan, then he's normally up for punishing. Yeah, no game, no life turned in. At the same time, though, they're trying to get the kill. The Gust preventing it. Nano boosted Lunara. Always knew that the Dia was boosted. And with that, we have the push for the blue team. The lanes are pushed out. I mean, as far as you can push them out without the forts being taken, of course. But yeah, they're going to try from here on out. 20,000 damage for Lunara. We got 15,000 for Falstad. And Rutsu doesn't hesitate. Immediately Odin and starts to take down the Web Weavers. Tries to defend as best he can. The 1 versus 1 at the bot lane continues between Leoric and Yrel. She's rotating over to help out and deliver a blow to the mid lane. But Odin is definitely doing fantastic here. Here comes the taunt. Marlow is able to get out. Good for him. And very little damage by the Web Weavers of Team Daykwaza. Nick is dealing with the top lane himself. And they defeated every single wave. And the walls are still partially intact. So not a lot of value has been had here by the blue team. Level 13 is available already for Team Nick and soon going to be picked up by Team Daykwaza too. But we still have a turn-in available for the team on the right side of the map. And my try is currently attempting to get a little bit closer to it, attempting to turn in those 13 gems that he has. Yeah, still looking for the Entomb. There it is. The stun as well. The Gust. And he's alive. The Sanctification was nicely placed by Breeze too. So yeah, they keep the birdie alive. But for how long, that's the question. He gets out for just a moment. But we have a play for Urel. And Daykwaza is dead. That's 43 gems that they just lost. And Breeze with 27 is... Oh, he gets away. 32 gems. Collected a few that the bird dropped when Falstad died. But this is close. My try could have maybe gone for it, but he carries 60 gems as well. So now we have 71 gems against 40. There's a big gap between the two. Great kills here from Team Nick, especially dropping Urel in that situation was super important and gave them massive value. Removing those gems from the blue team was of course fantastic. The birdie with its sustained wins on level 13. We got the health stone on level 13 for Gul'dan. Yeah, and as I said, it's time for the next Webweaver wave. The red team, it's a 5 versus 5, so they can't rely on any numbers advantages or talent advantages. But then again, they are in a great spot to take the first fort down. They already were able to take a little bit earlier down all of those forts. Sorry, all of those walls, and now they're aiming for the forts. The one at the top is already taking a bit of damage, but not enough. Webweaver gets taken down at the bot lane. Might try against Daykwaza. The fight continues. And more importantly, here in the middle of the map, we have Team Nick with an easy structure destroyed. So that's one fountain in the mid lane already removed, taking some of the sustain away. Daykwaza is trying to get out and is able to do that. Breeze, on the other hand, yeah, okay, he makes it out as well. But the fort is still gone, so that's 2 forts that were just destroyed with the second objective. That's a great start. And yeah, now things are a little bit more difficult for Team Daykwaza. And of course, another bad news item is that we still have a lot of gems for Team Nick, so they're not really in a position where they can get another turn in, but they're so close that it's definitely a threat, and if they deliver the gems that they are holding, that will save that for later. And especially Rutsu should turn in, but he's not the only one. Rutsu and Maitrai should definitely use those few seconds. Instead, it seems like Lunara is currently thinking about going for the boss and is already working on it. Yeah, no game, no life, sitting in the middle here. Rest of the team is doing their thing. 16 talents are now available, and as long as nobody knows that they're at the boss, I mean, even better. Nobody seems to be checking. So here comes the sizzling attack for Tychus. Falstad has still no double check what's happening here, and they already have it down to less than 30%. And as long as Falstad doesn't even check out what's going on, they must have been suspicious at some point at least where exactly the two of them are. So maybe they think that they are lying in wait somewhere and setting up a trap. But outside of that, it's pretty clear that they're probably in the boss pit. I don't think that there's a lot that the blue team can do about it either way, because they don't have level 16. But I would have expected them to at least check eventually. Now that hasn't happened, so now they are all moving topside to defend against the boss, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be the end of the fort. I don't understand Odin here. That one I don't really get. I understand popping Odin at the top, but like this early, that seems a little bit of a strange one. Could have just used that over here on the key, but Rutsu activates it early, and they're actually getting value out of it, because the blue team is forced into some of the fights, and thanks to that Entomb, they get a kill, and Breeze, he's at 41 gems now. Counter kill against Leoric, activates the straight, Daykwaza jumps out, but they're still able to do a bit more damage, and they can open the wall up now too. So this is a great spot for Team Nick to be in. They obliterated every single fort in this game, and they opened up the top keep up. So yeah, that puts them into a... definitely puts them into the driver's seat. And now, of course, 73 gems still available for Team Daykwaza. That's the next one. Big question with that is just simply, can they finally get a turn in and then maybe build up some momentum themselves? Because at least for now, it looks like Team Nick is going to be tough to beat here. It's more than a level of a disadvantage now. And there is another turn in for the red team. It's exactly what I talked about a second ago. The additional gems that they have. But now we got the Starwood Spear and the Endless Spores for Lunara. And, well, this is going to hurt now. Most of the forts, I mean, all of the forts are gone on the blue team, but most of the walls have taken damage on the keep. And this is definitely a nasty push. you are going to get some damage on the keeps. That one is guaranteed. The only question is, can you maybe save them? They will be damaged, but if you can at least save them, that would be important. So, either way, it's also a problem in regards to the experience and the looming level 20. But here comes the push through the bottom of the map from Team Nick. And they are putting some real pain onto that keep. So, yeah, there's the Horrify, the Gust, and that might save them the structure. Yeah, and it does. So if you're looking through the lanes, that was honestly a solid defense. That was way better than I expected it to be. It was a really good defense. There was rarely anything that Nick's team got from that push. And we still have 88 gems for Team Daykwaza. But they gotta turn in now. They can't just sit there any longer and not turn in. Breeze is, by the way, top damage on his team. Breeze as Tyrael is currently the top damage dealer. More damage than Gul'dan or Falstad. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I mean, all of them, of course, far behind Lulnara, but still, that shouldn't really be a thing. Khaldor gets attacked. There's the ult. Oh, hitting 3-4 heroes with it, but they just cannot get a kill. Sanctification on the ground. They go for Leo, and my try is dead. Yeah. Lunara gets nano boosted. Has to be very, very careful though. Already down to 50% HP. But the blue team finally has their turn in. Timing is... I mean, questionable is the wrong word. It's not like they can delay it and pick the turn whenever they want. But level 20 is close. Way too close for Team Nick. So that makes it difficult. Pushing while not taking a fight against an opponent that has a level 20 advantage over you is not easy. So let's see if they can properly pull this off, or if that's going to become a problem. But some of these forts need to be destroyed, or the pressure is going to be too much as it continues. Now we got on level 20 the inner rage now for Garrosh. We got the big red button. We also have Buried Alive. Mid lane easily defended. Top lane same thing. Yeah, they're not getting anything. They're not getting anything out of this push. They don't have Sanctification, they don't have level 20, so they decided to not push for it. It gave them a bit more room on the map since the Web Weavers obviously pushed out the lane, so it bought them time and experience. But that's all that they got out of the turn-in. Now the good news is that they still have enough gems for another turn-in. So they can get a follow-up here. Might try. Already trying to use the choke point here to disadvantage. If you are getting hit by the Entomb in that area, you are very likely not going to live to fight another day. Too many people affected by that. Unless, of course, Breeze is still outside of it and can drop the Sanctification. Then matters might be a bit different. But okay. Push through the middle. We got a level 20 very, very soon for Team Daykwaza. That's what they're waiting for. It's a very passive game by them throughout most of it. It was always Team Nick that took the initiative throughout the entire game, but he is level 20 now. We have got the Mighty Gust upgraded. Haunt over Horrify. Seraphim is in. Respect the elderly. Yeah, I don't think so. That's a concept that never vibed with me, by the way. Why would I respect my elders? This is like dumb. Doesn't mean that you need to run around and insult people, but you should respect people because they did something, right? Not just because they grew old. So yeah, that concept never made sense to me. Doesn't mean that you should be disrespectful, but it's like, yeah, there's a fine difference here. It's a bit of a nuanced issue, I feel. But then again, we already have Breeze diving in deep. They went for the turn-in, couldn't get it. This is going to be the big fight. Big red button already being used. The Sanctification saving the bird. Lulnara, oh dear. She's dead. That's the end of Bambi. We got now another kill, but can they maybe follow up? Might try. Odin gets thrown forward. Kala is running. They're all on the run and on the move, attempting to escape from Tychus and Leoric, and they are able to get out. Okay. That's, I mean, that was an important kill, but now they have to use that advantage in numbers, or it's going to be all for naught. So there's a boss up that they could go for, and at the same time there is a turn-in opportunity. So you have it both. You gotta pick one. Actually, you don't. You could theoretically go for both, but still. So, yeah. No game, no life dealing with the catapults. And yes, they seem to be going for both. Breeze is, by the way, at this point just fucking with me. I mean, come on. Turn those 24 gems in. I see that the entire time and I'm just thinking like, dude, you're the tank. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. And no, he has the mobility and he's the one that died the least, but still. Oh. So they get the double. They get the boss, they get the web weavers. Unfortunate for the web weavers is that the siege giants and the catapult are already pushing them back, so that keep gets barely saved by this. But now they can take a fort down. We're already 20 minutes into the game and Team Daykwaza hasn't taken a single fort down. That's where we're at right now. Most likely there will be at least 2 that get destroyed now. The one in the middle and the one at the top lane is already gone. Your opportunity to take a keep down is of course there too. And that would technically put them ahead in structures, since the blue team still holds on to all 3 keeps. But with that said and done, here's the play. Again, the big red button. And here comes Leo, but they're saving the day. Maybe a little bit too much. Deckard, Kane, ult, and sanctification. Yeah, and I think the birdie also used Gust, right? So they just used 3 ults for that. That might have been a bit overkill. But the keeper's taking damage in the mid lane. They open the wall up. So it's getting... I mean, they're evening it out a little bit. But yeah, stacking all of the ults here just to save Gul'dan might have been a bit too much. But either way, 71,000 for Tychus now. The Renegade with the numbers. No game, no life gets away here. And they got another turn in. They need 1 more gem and then they have another turn in. So yeah, there is still a chance that they are the first team to take down a keep. So there's that. Gul'dan by now obviously also done with his quest. I mean, yeah, for a while now. So the Echo Corruption into the Ruinous Affliction and they are turning in. Gul'dan has finally taken over on the damage numbers, by the way. He's at 46,000, so good for him. And, well, that could have maybe even been a kill. They try to go for the bird again. But, hello, Marlow. Yeah, Horrify was also used. Didn't really hit as hard as they were. Yeah. They would have loved to get a kill out of that, but that's not the case. So now the turn-ins are getting interrupted. But it's still a bit of a poke battle that we're seeing here. So here comes the big red button, and that's normally the moment when you're just trying to get away. Big red button is in and just try to get away, but they're getting a kill. They're taking Leo down again. Leorki activating the trade once more, losing a few gems in the process too. And as long as Breeze and Daykwaza get out, they're going to be fine. But there comes the Wind Tunnel, trying to go for the kills. Gul'dan is needed and misses every single Echoed Corruption. They are still hitting Bambi hard. Breeze is dead, but he gets trade value, potentially. Rutsu wants the kill on Henning, but Deckard is able to get out. And now even with Breeze dying, they still win the fight. Only Granny survives. That's the turn, and right here, right now. This fight could have been so much better, by the way, if Gul'dan wasn't already in the mid lane. If he was closer to the action and could have hit that Echoed Corruption, they might have even been able to save Breeze. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, because it really seems like they are going for the core now. The blue web weavers are touching ground in a few more seconds, and they are looking at a really nice position to end game number 1. And with the kills on Leo and Anna, there's just no doubt anymore how the first game is going to end. This is a victory for Team Daykwaza. They were on the defense nearly the entire game, but as the dust settles and the game concludes, the blue team takes the lead in the best of 5 series here in the losers bracket of Meta Madness. GG, well played. Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV. Second map of the series, Battlefield of Eternity. 30 heroes are out after we just saw 10 heroes played, and well, they won't make a comeback in this series. So now that we're in Battlefield, strategies obviously change a little bit, especially Greymane, maybe even Jimmy are going to rise in priority. I think the same is also going to be true for Chromie, since attacking from a distance is going to be very sweet for her during these little stale mails that we have on this map. There's a few other options that we also could get. But Nick is probably not too happy with how the first map went, because they were dominant for a long time. They got turn-in after turn-in, got a couple of early game kills, and then eventually it was the blue team that was able to not only hold their position, but also fight back and then take victory. I talked a bit about Breeze's heroes in the draft of the first game, but now we have ETC banned out. Again, one of his best, and ETC is always great on Battlefield. If you're properly sliding through a hero and push him into the immortal stun, you can get multiple stun combos, so that's going to be super important. But as it stands, we get Medivh banned out again. I'm still looking to see what's happening with Chromie, because she can be pretty oppressive on this map. I would still expect that we're at least going to see Greymane picked. The Panda gets banned out, alright. Had that a few times too. But yeah, Greymane most likely going to be picked. Chromie maybe going to be banned. Jimmy an option. Lunara is already out. She was banned. She was played in the first game. But what else? What's the final one here? Zarya. They're targeting Rutsu again. It feels like there's Chromie. Instant first pick. It feels a little bit like in game number 1 when they banned Zarya on the third ban position and not in the 1-2, that they just realized after the first bans that there's like, oh my god, damn, there's like Rutsu on the other side, so we need to deal with that. And, well, as it stands, now we finally have that, but yeah. Let's see what they can do against Chromie here. Poor Zarya. Alright, and there's Greymane. So again, I talked about Breeze and his main tanks, so this is the third one. He might be able to play ETC later, time will tell, but he gets his Diablo here. And we have Greymane against the Immortal, as already suspected, with Chromie the initial first pick for Team Nick. Imperius now also for Marlow. That's a good start into the draft for both of the teams, given the map and the objective that we're now playing. And there's Rexa and Misha. Okay. Plenty of food for Greymane when he goes in. So we'll see. Yeah, what do you ban out? No, we still have supports that need to be taken by both teams. Supports are in a bit of a weird position, honestly, in this tournament, because there's just enough supports that even on the 5th map you can still get some, unless of course like they get banned, or some of the teams decide that they want to play double support compositions previously. Cassia for extra damage is banned first, so they're not even targeting the support side. And the question for Team Nick is more, so what do they want to get rid of? If we're talking about support bans, I could definitely see one from them. If you, for example, have Diablo comboing things off with a Tyrande, with a Malfurion, there are lots of kill opportunities that can present for especially a hero like Greymane. So they could target a support here, but then we also have side laners that still need to be taken care of. There's a lot of potential stuns that we have. And the Fruit Fly was also still up for grabs, so Brightwing gets, in this case, eliminated. But I could definitely see a Tyrande here. Tyrande on Battlefield of Eternity with the extra damage against the Immortal is great. I mean, in normal circumstances, without all of these banned heroes, that wouldn't be the case. But now you still can get mad value out of her. And she pairs very well with Diablo and also with Greymane. They go down the path of Malfurion, which I also mentioned a second ago. So the theory behind it is similar, but you're missing out on the Hunter's Mark, of course. And we get Thrall. Right now for Daykwaza, but there's still a chance that they're going for another melee hero and then swap Thrall over into the 4-man and go for Crash Lightning. So both are fine. But let's see. Whitemane as the support. And the final pick for Team Nick. What are we getting for the man himself? It is Zagara! Zagara has seen in a surprising amount of games in this tournament, I have to admit. And I enjoyed thoroughly. So another Zerg Queen in the house. Nick not only playing carry again, and here comes Sonya. So now there's a chance that we get Thrall with the Trash Lightning. Either way, the blue team is in the lead. We're jumping to map number 2. Let's find out which team takes the victory on Battlefield of Eternity. The blue team is in the lead, and we are headed straight for Battlefield of Eternity, and as already expected, we are looking at Trash Lightning for Thrall. So now that they have a triple frontline, they can definitely pull that one off and make sure that they're getting a bit more action and damage with the War Chief. But we have him played by Khaldor now, so that means they swapped Sonya over to Daykwaza. At the same time, we get Breeze on Diablo, Henning on Malfurion, and No Game No Life on Greymane. And on the right side of the map, it's Nick on Zagara on the side lane this time. Yasu on Whitemane. We got Rutsu on Raxa, Marlo on Imperius. And Maitri is playing Chromie. Okay, so with that, we are gonna have a little bit of a look also at talents. We get again full vision with Flare on Raxa and Chromie with the Time Walker's Pursuit. If you're playing these 4 versus 4s, then for Khaldor it's going to be important to try and get as many stacks for the Trash Lightning as you possibly can. The key is always to complete this one. And of course, if there is Raxa and Misha on the other side, then you have an even better chance of getting some solid stacks together. What teams sometimes do when they're going up against this particular composition is that they're sending one hero topside and they're playing a 2-3 split. But it depends highly on the composition that you play, whether or not you can pull that off. But right now, of course, it's all about Thrall and his late game. Normally, when you're having Thrall on the side lane in the 1v1, you can't afford to go into Trash Lightning because you're never going to be able to stack properly. But here, if he's able to get that completed, then they would have insane poke damage, and they already have a strong composition. Greymane is, of course, the main damage dealer for them when it comes to bursty on-target damage. But Thrall can definitely slowly and steadily whittle those hit point pools down. But they're going for the camp, so they're trying. Isn't quite over yet though. Thrall gets another hit. He's already sitting at 3 stacks, so good for him. And the important thing also is that, the real power spike for Thrall with that level 1 talent really comes in when he has his quest completed. But he already starts to increase the damage with every single stack that he gets here. But of course there is a significant power spike that he reaches at completion. And he's already sitting at 5 stacks, 6 stacks. That's very, very good at the 2-minute mark. So it's an extremely solid start considering that we didn't even have a single objective yet. Greymane, on the other hand, he's in trouble. And that's a kill right there. Yep, they steal the camp. They get the kill on Greymane. A lot of vision, obviously, also taken. And now that Khaldor is very much alone against Raxa, it's a little bit annoying because now he can't stack anymore. Now he finds himself in that solo lane, and that's not where he wants to be. He got the start into it, but yeah, now it's a bit interesting. This is exactly the situation that he doesn't want to be in. Because even though he's up against Raxa, the chances of him stacking reliably are low. But he got the initial 6 stacks, that's good. He's eventually going to be part of these fights again. Up top, they're going for Marlo here. And Imperius nearly got slammed by Sonya. With the first objective now popping up, is of course another thing that you can start to play around a little bit. And Greymane is now coming in straight for the camp. Both of the teams are going for the Shaman camp. And as I say that, we have the red team not even getting theirs, but just moving over to the left side a little bit. Yeah, so they want to have the early lead on the Immortal damage. They realized that they were a bit out of time, so they decided to go just straight up for the objective. Yeah, Thrall is already moving in. There's Chromie. Okay. Can they maybe attack Thrall here? Not quite. Another few hits coming out. 7 stacks by now, but Breeze is dead. Breeze, look at that. Diablo down. 23 soul stacks for him, not more. And now we're having another hit coming. Also, Thrall with another chain lightning here. No game, no life. Oh boy, yeah. No hit points, no life. That's nearly what happened there, but he had a few left, so he makes it through. The Shaman camp that was taken earlier is still doing damage for Team Daykwaza, so that's an advantage they still hold. And Thrall is now coming in with one attack after another, and he's really trying to stack quickly and is already at 9 stacks. It's the 3rd done. That's not bad. Now, of course, one of the problems is that they are also losing out on the objective, and that's a big shield that gets used here. They also lose Sonya, so that's 3 kills to 0 now. Despite the fact that Thrall is stacking like a madman, that's going to hurt them. And it's going to hurt them a lot, because we're likely looking at a level 7 talent paired with that Immortal push. And that's not good news in the slightest. So, right now, at the bot lane, Greymane is already trying to defend, and the sooner they can take that shield down, the better. We have now the intercession for Whitemane, and on top of that we're getting again the Holy Fervor. We got the Bile drop in, more pokes happening. Thrall should actually be top damage for his team, and yes, he is. 13,000 damage. Is still stacking that up as best as he can, but can he complete that quest? That's the big question right now. And again, Might be able to hit another one here. The fort is down. It's a very good start. Thrall gets caught, and he is still able to make it out of the fight. Turns it around and gets another stack acquired. 15,000 damage for him now. But Breeze, he was the one initially saving Thrall after he got caught, and he pays the price for it. But then again, it's not really a bad thing to sacrifice Diablo in this case for Thrall, because Thrall needs to stay alive, he needs to stack, and he will be able to pay the team back in dividends later on if they can still hold on to the game. But of course now they're falling farther and farther behind. It's a level lead for Team Nick already. They're doing a great job locking these kills in. They won the objective and they took the first fort down with it. So that was pretty solid. But 14 stacks for Thrall at the 5-6 minute mark, that's really good. It's very, very good. And that makes it likely that we're going to see him complete his quest, and that would be enormous poke against the red team. And nobody would be happier about that than Greymane, because the big bad wolf can then go in and take him down here. Can go for the sexy Hexy over on the right side and maybe drop Yasuo, or go straight up for Chromie. Zagara, of course, another prime target. She's on the squishy side. With the envenomed spines, still a bit of poke here. Okay, 15 stacks by now for Thrall. Halfway done. 6 minutes in, he's halfway done. Good for him. And his damage is, of course, ramping up as well. As I already said earlier, he's building that up with every single stack that he gets. So he's currently starting to contest the output of Chromie and has pulled way ahead of Greymane. They nearly have level 10 though, that's a big problem. Team Nick is doing extremely well on the experience side, and with the Immortal spawning in another 9 to 8 seconds, that is likely another objective for the red team. So this is getting very, very dangerous for Team Daykwaza. It's a bit reminiscent of what we saw in game number 1. The early game and the early mid game is not really... doesn't really seem like it's the best time for the blue team. They're struggling more than just a little bit. Daykwaza's likely going to fall here. Spin to win, and Sonya is dead. Breeze delivered a bit of experience to them top side as he pushed the wave back out, but now with level 10, halftime show is already over. Thrall still alive, not a single kill for the blue team. Team Daykwaza is very much so struggling. 18 stacks for Thrall, but that's going to be 100% shield on the Immortal. They are getting hammered here in the early stages. I mean, damn. And also, the creep spread is pretty good too. I mean, they are diligent as far as they can with the Moonfire, with Diablo, and just trying to take these creep tumors down. But it's not really easy for them, given the situation they're in. Now level 10 should be ready for them in a few more seconds too, especially with Sonya at the bot lane. But she is moving topside because they want to have the 5-man defense set up here. So, whew, we'll see. I mean, we got a Maw, we got the delivery system, there's the leap, lightning breath, they got the earthquake, and the fort is down. That one was a given. That one was crystal clear. Here comes Tranquility. They go for Breeze again. 86 stacks. Good hit point pool. The bullet comes out. They're slowing them. They're dropping them. The Maw is there. Breeze alive. And he finally dies. Breeze is down. Third time that he gets killed, I think. Khaldor with a little bit more damage. Tries to pop his trait. But that is another kill for the red team. And they are just murdering the top lane. Oh my god. Team Nick is going through the top lane like hot butter through cheese as they take the fort, they take the keep, and they are going to push the Immortal even towards the core. I don't think they can end this here, but holy hell, that was such a successful attack by them. Big shield on the Immortal, and it really paid off. And Daykwaza's team is so far behind right now. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. 24,000 damage for Thrall. He's getting closer and closer to completion, but given the rate at which they're falling behind, I'm not sure if that's going to play a role any longer. If they can at least win a couple of fights and bring it to the late game, then it will definitely matter, but at this point they just need the first kill. They don't even have that, so that's another problem. Yeah, 7 kills to 0. We got level 13 already on the board, so that's a talent advantage right there. And, well, let's see. Down here, no game, no life. Careful. Oh, that's a kill opportunity. No, White Mane saves the day. That can't be real. White Mane saving the day again. The Maw is there. Maitri, can they finally get a kill? It's unfucking believable. Somehow Maitri is still alive. Chromie made it out. Sonya is dead. Greymane is dead. Everybody dead at the front line for Team Daykwaza. Check that fight out. With that choke point position, how the hell did they get out there? Breeze was slamming Chromie around a little bit, trying to get enough damage in, but then Sonya falls, Diablo dies, Greymane gets popped, and they are eating dirt at the bot lane too. The objective is coming back up again. Kala at 24 stacks. This is such a sad situation for him, because Thrall must be super happy that he's able to stack his quest this diligently, but at the same time it feels it doesn't matter anymore at all, because, well, they are most likely going to lose the game by the time that he is done. Oh god. 3 catapults on their way towards the core. 1 driver gets fired because, yeah, that's not what you want to hit. But yeah, the core is gonna lose the shield. But we're not gonna see damage. Greymane is ready for it, as already mentioned, but of course the continuous catapult pressure here is starting to become a bigger and bigger problem right now. But either way, 22 stacks also on level 4 for Rexa. Yeah, they're still trying to hold on to the objective, and I guess for a bit longer they still can. Keep in mind they are talent behind, they don't have level 13, but it's at least a 5 versus 5. And the top lane push, jeez. The Shaman camp and the catapults. As if one of them wasn't already bad enough, but now both are starting to come in here. Good damage against the Immortal, a little bit more poke happening. But things are not looking good. Things are very, very grim right now for the blue team. They're trying to defend, but the poke continues. Stack after stack for Thrall, but they need kills, they need momentum, they need a moment of reprieve here to defend the top lane too. The shield is falling, it's falling quickly, by the way. This is a disaster. Their core is getting murdered, absolutely murdered. That's 20% already gone. They need to send some people back, and they know it too. Halftime show is already won. There's still nobody here. 73%, 71%. They're losing way too much ground. This is a total disaster for Team Daykwaza. They got level 13 talents finally, but there's only one last play. They can go for a Hail Mary, just YOLO in, hope for the best, try and get a few kills, but it's of course a suicide mission. They are about to commit honorable Sudoku, as they are looking for any opportunity to come in and start killing a hero or two. It's the only chance that they have. Take the team fight, win it big time. They're waiting for 16 though, and that's a mistake. Now here's the coordinated attack though. Marlo! No! He survives! Sonya with a leap! They still don't have a kill. The Maw in the back isolating 2 of their heroes. And it could be a perfect game for Team Nick. They are coming back with a vengeance into this game. They are coming back with an absolute vengeance into game number 2. It's a 3-level advantage that they're running here. And of course the level 16 talents. But this is just craziness. Double catapult at the top lane. 13-minute quest completion. Thrall completes his quest at the 13-minute mark, and it likely doesn't matter. They want to get a kill. Can they finally? No, Marlo is alive. They lose Thrall, they lose Sonya. This is insane. They can't even get a kill. They cannot get a single kill. Marlo drops it. Core gets attacked again by catapults, at least soon enough. And that's 100% shield on the Immortal. Breeze is dancing and dies. He embraces his fate. 42,000 damage by Thrall, 48,000 damage by Zagara. It's absolutely crazy. 14 kills to 0. Team Daykwaza just got burned. They are going to need a lot of aloe vera before they are able to start game number 3, because those burns, they are going to hurt a lot. So yeah, damn. That was crazy. At this point, the only thing that they really need to take care of is making sure that they're not dying, that not someone dies. You want to go for, at this point you want to go for the perfect game, right? You definitely want to go for the perfect game. Just make sure that you don't lose anybody. If anybody dies now on the red team, he's going to get instantly reported. I mean instantly. Sonya is dead, but is that a kill? White Mane! Ah, reported. Reported. White Mane gets reported. Imperius gets reported. And I guess we're going to report Chromie too. Yes, we do. All of them, reports incoming. That's unacceptable. They are getting wiped. 5-man team wiped, but it doesn't matter. The game is over. And this is game 2 with a victory for Team Nick as we are heading towards game 3. Infernal Shrines, map number 3. Nick's team. They got a little bit angry on the second map, didn't they? They came in swinging and nearly had a perfect game, and then they just decided to commit group Sudoku, and they all just died. So yeah, after the Honorable Subaru, everybody had at least one death, but the Immortal was still alive and ended the game. So now that we're heading into Infernal Shrines, we're staying true to the Diablo theme of the map. But now 20 heroes are not available anymore. The 20 that we had in game number 1 and in game number 2. We got Medivh banned out. I guess that's going to be a bit of a staple. And I would be surprised if they let Zarya through the draft too, because, let's be honest, this is another good map for Zarya. So they would definitely play her here if they had a chance. Now, Mephisto is banned out. Kerrigan. Alright. I don't think we're gonna get... Well, maybe we're gonna get a Zarya first pick. Not for Team Breeze. I wouldn't think so. Do they go for an early Zarya? I don't really think that's gonna be a thing. Stitches gets banned. That makes sense to me too. Cassia, alright. Cassia for the first pick. Now the opportunity. This is really the moment when Rutsu has to decide, does he want to play Zarya here or not? The answer is yes. He's like, ole, 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 ole. He's celebrating. He's like sitting at home. Oh my god. And May. Zarya. Ooh, we are going full Overwatch here. What was that thingy that they used at the World Cup? Venezuela or something? The fucking trumpets there. Rutsu has them all in his apartment. He's just like going for it. So. Double Overwatch. Okay. So they're going full overrated on us apparently. Tacita and Brightwing. Tacita is such a staple at this point. Such a regular on Infernal Shrines. It's a little bit nuts. So, yeah. But again, with our next few bans, Breeze, what do you ban against him? I mean, ETC is still up and could technically be taken out. Okay. Are they going to go for the ETC ban? Ah, Varian. Yeah, good point. Varian with the taunt, Brightwing with the follow-up. Not too bad. Okay. Varian is actually one of the heroes that always slips past me a little bit in this Meta Madness. We had him also available, I think, in the 5th game yesterday that we finished on. And I think he would have been a good choice there. They decided to go down a different path, but yeah, Varian can be quite nice. I don't like the Sul'jin ban because I personally really like the Sul'jin games. Anything that gives you continuous stacking is kind of fun to watch. But we had a few games already with Sul'jin and all of them were exciting, so yeah. But now that we have the double pick for Nick and my try, what are we getting from them? I mean, they still need damage, they don't have a support yet. Alexstrasza for the Dragon Queen, and we get Jaina. They're getting full Frosty here. May and Jaina. Team Frost plus Alexstrasza and plus Zarya. Okay. And let's see what we're gonna get for Nick there towards the end. Girl power on the red team. He just has to pick Nova now. I was about to say Diva, but they can't anymore. Nova pick right here, and they go for Phoenix. He's the odd man out. Alright. So Diva and ETC. Breeze indeed did it. He went for ETC now that he can't pick Varian. But that is another great hero for him. And still very, very good drafts here, considering that we're already on map number 3, so I like it quite a bit. Infernal Shrines. One of the two teams is going to pull ahead here. We're going to get a minimum of 4 maps out of this series. So guys, let's go Team Nick once again against Team Daykwaza. Time to party once again. The series is tied, and honestly for me that's already really good news because it means that we're going to get a minimum of 4 maps in this series, and that's always nice in Meta Madness, makes things a little bit more exciting. But after we already had 2 pretty cool games between the 2 teams here, we're getting a bit more action. Breeze this time on his ETC, so that's already pretty cool. We're going to get those slides and maybe even a few mosh pits. Khaldor on Tacita, Daykwaza on Diva, Henning on Brightwing, and no game, no life on Cassia. On the right side of the map, in the meantime, we got the girl power with Team Nick on Malo with Mei, Nick on Phoenix, Jaina played by my try, Rutsu on Zarya, and Yasuo is playing Alex Traza. Alrighty. Full girl power over here. Alright, let's go. Kind of reminds me, there was actually a time in HTC when I commentated and I uttered the sentence at some point that I said, Tyrael hits like a little girl. Because, well, as you might know, Tyrael is not really the hero that, especially back in those days, was known to pack the biggest punch. Not really a damage dealer, that's why we call him a tank. And there was actually someone that then on social media started to complain about me and was like, oh my god, you're so unbelievably sexist, that is so misogynistic, how can you say that, and yada yada yada. It was one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. I was like, we're gonna make an experiment, so we're just gonna meet up, we're gonna bring a little girl, first the little girl is gonna hit you, and then I hit you full in the face, and then tell me what hurts more. That's the kind of reality check that I would love to give people that come in with comments that are so unbelievably fucking stupid. But yeah, it's always brilliant. The shit that some people can get offended by and outraged by, it's just funny. But yeah, as we're getting into our third game, we have the fights for the camps again, and in this case the red team was a little bit faster. So they was actually pretty quick here. They were able to lock in their own camp and then go for the third one. It didn't even come to a fight. Normally there's at least a bit of a battle going on over the third camp, and one of the teams has to decide whether or not they want to go for it. But by the time the blue team finally made the rotation over, it was already taken. We got Mei with the heat transfer on level 1. The Fingers of Frost at 8 stacks. And now with level 4 we got the Give Me 20 right there. Okay, so awards, the top left, what do we currently got there? Camps. I mean, again, we're going through the early motions, but I gotta say that these sneaky moves that we're seeing from the red team, just invading the camp and stealing it away, I like that quite a lot. I'm not sure if Team Daykwaza really saw that one coming. That's a pretty aggressive move from Team Nick, but it works out for them. So they're looking pretty good here. That gives them a big lead on the first objective, and of course it puts enormous pressure onto their top lane in particular. As long as they take their own camp, which they can indeed do. Breeze was trying to grab it, but couldn't. So Rutsu totally fine to help the rest of the team. This is a great start for Team Nick. They're getting both of the Shaman camps. They're putting enormous pressure onto the top lane. They take a lead in experience thanks to the double camp, and have now also, likely, a better position for the first shrine, thanks to the level 7 talent that they're gonna grab. I like that quite a bit. That steal, them moving in and really just having the balls to make that play and risk that, worked out very, very well. Now, of course, a play like this can also backfire horribly. If you're getting caught and then, I don't know, you take a team fight, you lose it and you lose the camp, you're far behind. But it's a gamble they were willing to take because they have Zarya, they got that defense, they got the sustainability, and it pays dividends for them now. Still fight on the objective, and level 7 is getting closer. Interestingly enough, that top lane pressure has never really done enough, was taken out too early. There's the explosion and pushed back right away. They get the Diva kill, and that is Punisher number 1 for Team Nick. And a very quick completion on Alex Traza. 3 minutes and 44 and he is done. Yasuo is done with the level 1 quest. Holy hell, not bad, my friend. And they're burning that fort, or at least the wall down. Level 7 is here too. That's them off to a fantastic start, I gotta say. If they can get more, that would of course be great. Nick with a warp in. But there's the polymorph. Alright, so as it stands, they take the entire fort. That's fantastic. Not a single kill in this game, but they take the fort down. They are able to steal some of the camps away. They establish an experience lead. Zarya is, of course, doing work as usual when Rutsu gets her. And here comes D.Va trying to isolate Yasuo, not Extraza. That doesn't work. And the blue team is still more or less fine. But I gotta admit, taking a fort this early in the game and with so much ease, that must be quite frustrating for the blue team. Tassadar with one wall after another, again, as he's trying to set things up for the rest of the team and isolate targets. I mean, that has been the play or the attempt the entire time, with D.Va boosting in, with Tassadar putting the walls down, but it doesn't really look all that great in the early game for them. Level 10 will change things, always changes dynamic here, and I think that's especially what Team Daykwaza is waiting for. Yeah, there's another attempt to body block, and this time it might actually work out. Marlow needs some assistance and gets it to an extent at least. And with a shield he's able to slide away again. Rutsu and his boys keeping Mei in play. Jaina has been on the top lane for a long time now and was able to get all of that done. So here we go. Breeze in the middle. 11 stacks also for Zarya's level 4 by now. And, well, let's see. Up towards the top. As Daykwaza. The mech should do more damage, honestly. I always feel like the kit of D.Va is a little bit weird. It would be... D.Va's a mech. You could do so many shenanigans with them. Yeah, we have a wall on each side right now. So Tassadar with the walls for the blue team, and then Mei with the walls for the red team. One ice wall after another. Let's be careful that those are not getting melted away too quickly. Talking about getting melted away, Tassadar is down. Yeah, they melted his hit point pool. Goes into Archon. We have also the Valkyrie. In comes the Mosh Pit. No surprises with the ults. Still waiting for the Planet Cracker. We had some games, I think in one of the qualifiers for the X Cup, where we saw Murky Octograb into Planet Cracker. Was that the X Cup qualifier, or was that the group stage of Meta Madness? I honestly don't remember any longer, but I could totally see something along those lines being played later. We at least had one Octograb game in the group stage. I definitely remember that. Here comes ETC. They're now both trying to make a play for the next Punisher, and this is a bit of a moment of truth situation. Now that both teams are on level 10 abilities, you of course want to show your real power. This time they're also taking their camp, by the way, so it doesn't get stolen. This time they're on point. There's like, wait a second, I think we should be taking that ourselves now. But okay. With all of that, we have still the position a bit earlier established on the shrine by Daykwaza for his side. ETC looking for an opportunity. The one thing with ETC that you have to check out, look at Breeze in the way that he uses his power slides. We talked a lot about him creating opportunities for the team, and what you'll see is that he very rarely uses his power slide. He mostly uses it when he really feels there's an opportunity there, but he is pretty stingy with a lot of the cooldowns. So in this case, missing out on it, but until now, he did not use the power slide even once during this entire fight and encounter, always just waiting for an opportunity where he could get real value and where he knew that people were close by and could help him out. Definitely one of the biggest mistakes that I see, not only with ETC, but with pretty much all heroes that most lower league players make, is that they're YOLOing their cooldowns out every single time they get a chance. At this point, might be in trouble. Breeze interrupted as he was trying to go for the mosh pit, and he's gonna fall here. Brightwing with an attempt to save him, but even the Fruit Fly was in trouble. 32 stacks to 23, and here comes D.Va with a big explosion, and that's a Punisher for the blue team. They sacrificed the cow, but they got the Punisher. And now they can also go for Rutsu, maybe. Here comes the jump first onto Mei. So that was already triggered in front of the wall. Could help them to get more value. But they have to be very careful how they are pushing this. Phoenix has moved into the middle of the map, and D.Va needs to meet that rotation to ensure that they're not losing too many hit points on the fort and the wall, and soak up the experience. And with that, we now have at least the wall destroyed, but the fight continues. And here comes Mei with a slide, and that should be at least one kill. Probably two. Brightwing is dead, and it seems like they can also take down... Yeah, they can definitely take down Cassia. I thought she might be able to walk out, but nope, there's the expulsion zone. That's the end of her. Breeze gets attacked, 5 kills to 0, and that is kill number 6. Team Nick, everybody. Absolutely beasting it again. 6 kills to 0. They are mad as hell. I thought game number 2 might have been a fluke, but it looks more and more like game number 1. was the outlier. They are at this point 1.5, 2 levels ahead of their opponents, and things are looking fantastic. The bot lane fort has been taken down, the top lane fort has been eliminated, the one in the middle has been dropped down to 50% HP. So with all the eagerness and ambition that the blue team entered the series, it doesn't seem like they can follow up on that. 115 stacks on Tacitus level 1. But they gotta get a few kills. And things are looking tricky. They're at least attempting to steal the camp away, and I think in this case it's going to work for them. So they take the Khaldor camp. The snowman is already around. Poor snowman. Ice wall as well. Okay, can they follow up? Yeah, Kala gets out. They were hoping to force a fight here, but they couldn't quite. My try gets body blocked. Hello, Jaina. How you doing? And that's a kill. The ice wall and everything. Jaina's just sitting there like, let me out! Let me get away! And they just showed no mercy. Jaina is dead, and that was the first kill. The first kill for the blue team. So now they're trying to get a bit more. Use that momentum to drop another target, and then they can't. Can they at least take the camp? I suppose they should be able to. But that Zarya composition for Team Nick is just doing too much. Yeah, Rutsu, he adds so much sustainability now to the team, and in addition to that, he has 21,000 damage himself. So that's another big lead. Level 16 talents, of course, help too. Cassia on 30,000 damage for now. And they're still a level behind. Yeah, I mean, Jaina's kill, that meant a lot, but with a talent disadvantage, how do you play this out? Jaina's on her way, Brightwing is at the top, they want that camp, they're still fighting for it, they're totally willing to take that battle. Ice Wall gets dodged, the camp is taken, Expulsion Zone made it possible. They go for Brightwing, Brightwing's thus far still alive, but Breeze gets dropped. Breeze gets dropped, no game, no life, is on the run. I think they should be able to save Cassia. Can maybe Daykwaza help out a little bit here? Maybe not. Brightwing is dead. Cassia is dead. And maybe they can get even... No, they can't get Daykwaza. But that is 10 kills to 1. 10 kills to 1. What the hell? What a brutal display of strength by Team Nick. The red team now also moving into the middle. I think this one's gonna fall, right? Nope. 3 hit points left or so. Yeah, that's where you gotta send somebody over to just nibble a little bit at that thing and drop it. This is also gonna be an easy punisher. And that is... Hello, Jaina? Yeah, they know exactly where they are. Marlow already sniffed it out, and they already signaled to Mitra that he should walk away there, which they did. So now D.Va is active at the top, but down here at the bot lane, that Punisher is taken. It's an Arcane Punisher too. So they're coming into the mid lane first, taking that fort down. That's a no-brainer. But they are going to get more, because now they can go for the keep. There is, of course, a level 16 talent for Daykwaza that they can now use to defend. But they want the keep here. And the wall is already halfway gone. They will most likely even take that tower down before the Punisher is even there. There's the jump, the follow-up, and Cassia gets murdered. Cassia gets dropped. And, well, that might be a big problem here. ETC with a party, but that's a very short-lived dance that he celebrates. ETC is down, 12 kills to 1. Damn, they're getting crushed. Tacita is dead. Guys, that's game. That's just game. What's going on with Team Nick? What happened between game number 1 and game number 2? These guys are boosted somehow, seriously. They had their wheat bix, they had their oatmeal. I don't care what they gobbled up between those 2 games. But they have been on fire on map 2 and map 3, and now it's another 14-minute game. Team Nick with the lead in the best of 5 series here in the loser bracket of Meta Madness, as they're absolutely crushing Team Daykwaza on Infernal Shrines. Garden of Terror, map number 4. Team Nick is on a tear. These guys are crushing. Yeah, not too bad. At this point, it seems like Team Daykwaza is getting a little bit spanked here. So, maybe they can start a comeback now and Garden of Terror. And of course now 30 heroes are not available anymore because they already got played. Another 20 are banned for the entire event. That's 50 gone. But we'll see if that is enough to create some crazy compositions that allow Team Daykwaza to bring it back. While we're waiting for the draft to shape up in front of us, guys, once again, the quick reminder, especially for everybody watching on YouTube, that this event is sponsored by Hi-Tech. And Hi-Tech has now sponsored, I think this is the 4th Meta Madness that they're sponsoring. They're supporting Heroes of the Storm esports more than Blizzard does, and I'm not even memeing, I'm actually dead serious. So the least that you can do is check out the video description and click that link. Again, even just visiting the website and getting some traffic over there helps, of course, to promote this tournament a bit. But if you're also thinking about improving your system, upgrading, or maybe even getting a whole new one, then definitely check out their shop and see if something there is interesting for you. And I can, once again, very heavily recommend all of you at the bottom right of the website, or sorry, the bottom left, you can see a chat that you can activate to chat with some of their support guys, and they can help you. So if you are not really familiar with the latest tech, I myself would include myself in that category and a little bit helpless on that end. They can help you. You can tell them if you want to stream, if you don't want to stream, what kind of games you want to play, what you have, and then they can help you and give you some tips and some ideas and discuss things with you. They've done that with multiple people within the community. They're super helpful on that, and everybody that I talked to so far that used it has been very, very happy with them. So definitely check them out. Not just saying that, been working with them for years now, and they are amazing. So again, link is in the description. Big shout out to Hi-Tech and a big thank you for making this possible. Because without it, we wouldn't have Abathur, we wouldn't have the Vikings, and we wouldn't have this game. So we got Abathur with Karazim, and that is a lot of slaps. I mean, if he dashed in, slaps everywhere. The Vikings and Garden of Terror is the first pick. That's not okay. No, that's not okay. Butcher ban? I mean, come on, boys. I understand why. I get it. You pick the Vikings, you don't want to give them the Butcher. But are you serious? With Abathur, we could have seen an Abathur Butcher against the Vikings. Oh my god. Alright, Morales is banned. Oh boy. That makes me a little bit sad. They banned Illidan, they banned the Butcher. That would have been such a fun game. But again, at least the Butcher got banned, right? That's the first appearance that he makes in the tournament. Okay, what is Nick now going to pick? They have their Stitches, they got the Vikings. Nazeebo and Tyrande. Yeah, that gets dangerous. You have Vikings, you have another late game hero with Nazeebo, you have Tyrande for a stun follow-up after Stitches lands the hook. Yeah, this is not an easy game for Team Daykwaza. As much as I love them picking the slug, that's not going to be easy. Yeah, Nick is going full German on us. He's taking all the fun out of this. He eliminated Illidan, he eliminated Butcher. Like, that's just not cool. We get Mal'Ganis and we get Orphea. Coffin Girl is in the house. And final pick here. They still need a support. They don't... actually, they don't. They got Tyrande, sorry. I kind of forgot about Karen here for just a second. So, what is my try going to pick? Could go for another melee here, of course. But either way, we got Jimmy. Yeah, full efficiency. The German efficiency. They are gonna win the game. Garden of Terror. Let's see if Team Daykwaza can bring it back or if they're dropping out of the tournament now. Team Nick has the lead in the best of 5 with the 2-1 score. And now we're heading into the 4th map of the series. Let's go, everybody. Team Daykwaza with another opportunity to bring this to the 5th and final map on the left side. We got Daykwaza on Zul, Breeze on Mal'Ganis, Kala on Abathur, Henning on Karazim, and no game, no life on Orphea. Team Nick, on the other hand, he's obviously the one or the team that tries to finish it all here on the 4th map. Take it with a 3-1 and advance to the next round of the losers bracket. We have Nick on Nazeebo, Yasuo on Tyrande, Marlo on Stitches, Rutsu, the one playing the Vikings here, going to a Balog build with the explosive attacks on level 1. Marlo with a Hungry for More, and Jimmy is playing, interestingly enough, the Exterminator here on level 1. Now, why is that interesting? It's mainly interesting because this already hints a bit that they want to bring this potentially to the late game. If they were just interested in taking big team fights, then he could have gone for ace in the hole, but they are now playing this out in a way that they can easily take down Garden Terrors on the other side, that they have an easier time to also take mercenary camps, and they have a pretty interesting composition. Because there's a lot going on here. You have the Vikings to soak the side lanes while the 4-man could start to push. But even if you just buy time for Nazeebo to get into the late game, you have a very, very strong composition through Nazeebo's Vile infection. Now, for that to happen, Nick needs to stay alive. And that's currently not the case. So, yeah, sad moment. Insta-kill on Nazeebo, the Witch Doctor, went and died. But he has 10 stacks, went into the thing from the deep too. Balog obviously getting sacrificed now. Thanks to Zul, there's a very heavy and effective rotation going on with wave clear between the mid and the top lane. Seems like they're trying to steal the camp, and they can actually pull that one off, and they might get a kill against Marlo too. That's the second kill. Team Daykwaza. They're crushing. And Nick, for some reason, has a death wish. Yep. Honorable Subaru, and holy shit, they're killing them all. That is 4 kills to 0 and more than a level lead after a minute and 30 against an Abathur team. Yeah, that might not work out the way that the red team thought it would. So that's definitely not a good start. They lost way too much here. The Vikings are just sitting at the sides looking at the rest of the team. They're like, are you guys shitting us? I mean, come on, we are usually the ones dying. But boy, not a single stack for Stitches. And that was a setback. That was quite the setback. Okay, so let's see what Nazeebo can do from here on out. He needs to be a bit more careful. This is the one thing that just baffles me in Meta Madness. It really surprised me yesterday when we saw Team Drug here in the last round. That some of the teams, they're just a bit too aggressive. They see an opportunity, they think they can play around it, and they just don't play it safe and passive to capitalize on late game compositions, or don't have the patience. Doesn't mean that you can't take the occasional risk, but sometimes they just go a little bit too YOLO, and you never want to go full Leroy. So now they steal at least the camp away. They got the Siege Giants at the top. They're also going for Daykwaza. That's pretty sweet. There's the hook, but it's just not enough damage to get the kills in. But it definitely helps them. They can interrupt a little bit with the quick owl that we're getting against No Game No Life. There's a stun that comes through. Eric is already poking this out. Yeah, Henning gets an assist and they're able to get away. Eric might even die. But this is them buying time now. Now we're talking, right? Now we're talking. So they're interrupting channels. They're buying a little bit more time. They're zoning them out. They're even getting the first seed, so that's even better. And at the same time, with them claiming some of these mercenary camps and stealing them away from the opponent, they prolong this even further. So that's a lot better here. Now with level 7 talents, we got the Mule. Also Jimmy is a bit low. Ophia still dancing around here. Went into the Ancestral Strength, the Chaotic Assault, and the Insatiable. Top side now, Rutsu. Yeah, might not make it here. I'm going out on a limb. Down to the bot lane though, it seems like Rutsu can at least save Eric, but they can't take the camp. Siege Giants are getting claimed. There's the level 7 now on both sides, and we get the Dead Rush. 40 stacks for Nazeebo. I mean, he's getting a bit there. He's rotating between 2 lanes now. He's moving between the mid and the top quite a bit, trying to get the extra minion wave so that he can stack this quicker. And thanks to his level 4, that's obviously going to make him also way more difficult to kill in the late game. But good hook against Breeze. Gets the Abathur support here with the hat. They try to go for a kill though, and I'm a little bit worried about my try because he's low, but he's not the only one. Ophia is also in trouble, and she gets dropped. So there's the kill. Finally, first kill for Team Nick. Okay, so they're fighting back now. And we got 6 stacks, 7, 4 stitches. So he's starting to boost his hit point pool a bit too. Top side, Daykwaza still dealing with the camps. We even have Abathur helping out a bit. I'm talking about camps, it's obviously more up here, and my try is putting his level 1 talent to good use with the Exterminator, and slowly and steadily making sure that he's getting the damage connected here. But as it stands, the Vikings with the side lane soak, we got still a half-level lead for the blue team, and that brings them closer to level 10. Breeze is hoping to set things up for Fia later on in the game. Still ghosting around here. One seat has been taken, so this one can be given up by the red team without any problems. You gotta be very careful considering how close to level 10 the blue team is. So Team Daykwaza will get heroics in another moment. Marlow on the move back out once again, gets body blocked here. Stuns are coming in, there's level 10, and that's the end of Stitches. Can't sustain yourself against an opponent that is already running that advantage here. But Nick is getting value in the mid lane. So while this entire fight played out at the top lane, Nick was able to not only get a few more stacks for his level 1 and the baseline, but he also dropped the wall in the middle of the map. So good for him. Yeah, gets a few more stacks here, gets another wave. Not about 10 minutes in, he's not quite halfway done with the quest completion, but still he's getting there. Gonna get the Ravenous Spirit again, obviously Gorge, and we got the Shadow Stalk with the Vikings going for the play again. No surprises on the heroic abilities, honestly. Yeah, even committing to the Hyperion now to ensure that they're taking some of the structures down. And they're getting the gate, they're getting one tower, and that poor mule is just sitting there and is like, yeah, I hate this. Couldn't do anything about it. Yeah, there's a Gorge. Ah, that was unfortunate. The Ravenous Spirit, though, is a drop. No, it's not dropping no game, no life. Eric might. They're still trying. Ophia's on the run, gets hooked, and that's the end. Schoolgirl is down. Eric came in. That was a slingshot kill right there. Awesome. Nice. Yeah, gets the slingshot kill. Well done. Top fort is down, so that's the first one that fell. But 74 stacks now for Nazebo. Yeah, he's getting there. He's getting there. Slowly and steadily. Initially, he died a little bit too quickly, twice. But now this is looking much better. So we got the Carrion Swarm and a few more spiders and Breeze. Not having fun with those. But Nazebo needs a little bit more mana, so he's already retreating. Marlow isn't looking great at his stacks. Again, he's sitting at 10 right now. Of course, you want to have the movement speed advantage, but it's more so about boosting your hit point pool. It also works extremely well with your Devour, of course, since that procs off your max HP. Yeah, the hook, the Gorge, but do they have the follow-up? Where's the stun? Wrong direction. That coordination wasn't really good. And Marlow is immediately getting attacked by Karazim 2, who uses the 7-sided to drop him to less than 50% HP. They're buying some time for the top lane, though. That is one massive push that we're seeing here. Not only do we have the minion wave, but Jimmy worked on this as well. Down to the bottom of the map. Nazebo just stacking it up a little bit more. And Eric is also dropped. Okay. They're going for Baylock, and he's down. And now we also have the Soma Transference at level 13, so a little bit more sustain for Karazim, for Mal'Ganis, no matter who gets the hat here. The Abyssal Symbiosis is also ready for Ophia. And, well, with level 13 talents kicking in for the red team, it means that the hook range is going to get increased for Stitches. This time they, by the way, learned their lesson, so they're seeing them come and they're like, well, maybe we don't need this one. Now, the next thing that is happening is seed number 3 potentially for Team Daykwaza, and that one's important. Because now you gotta make a decision whether or not you want to fight for it. Oh, nice ult! Ophia gets snagged up. Mai tries low though, and he dies. They're still trying to go for Marlow, but he makes it out, lands the hook, and gets some damage in. But I suppose that no game, no life gets out of this, even though he got attacked by those towers. Rutsu is still pushing. We have 17,000 damage now for Jimmy. He's the top damage on the red team side, with a 33,000 for Ophia, putting him to shame. But Nazebo, again, just going for the siege damage. 72,000 for him. And he should be fine helping them to defend against, yeah, exactly those bad boys. And he's done. He's, by the way, done now with his level 1. So that's already pretty sweet. It gives him a bit of increased spell power. Should have no trouble taking that first Garden Terror down. And despite the 8 kills to 2 and the 1 level advantage, I honestly feel the blue team needs to hurry this up a little bit. Because if they don't, then late game Nazebo will become a huge pain in the butt. So, right now they're doing well. They're taking all the forts down. But can they maintain that? Hook into Gorge, good idea. But again, they're also catapulting that behind. Yep, that ult didn't do anything. And Ophia is down for the 3rd time. 3 kills against the blue team and all 3 of them against Ophia. 109 stacks now for Nazebo. 14 stacks for Stitches. Yeah, bigger they are is not sorry, the Hungry for More is not really doing a lot for Marlow in this game. Not just yet. To be fair, it's how many hit points? 325 or so that he has. A little bit more even than that. I think it's, yeah, 375 if I'm not mistaken. But still, that's nothing crazy. Better than nothing, I suppose. But he wants to have a little bit more at this point in time. The level 16 talents are by now in for Team Daykwaza. They're only half a level ahead, so that's not really a whole lot to rely upon. In total, we have them now with, well, the N1 Spines. We got full Weaken after the Rapid Harvest. So he just goes full on into the Cursed Strikes here. Daykwaza gets gobbled up, though. And maybe we're going to get a kill here. No, doesn't even drop them into the Ring of Zombies. No! There's at least a Hyperion to zone them off slightly, but I'm not sure what they can do here. The hook against Khaldor, and he's going to lose that copy very, very quickly. Can't get a lot of value out of it, but they're all surviving, and I mean, that's all that matters at the end of the day. They didn't want to fight the battle without level 16 talents, and now they have their own talent kicking in with the Soul Harvest for Nazebo. In addition to that, even more important, we got the Pulverize and the Paint Them Red for Team Nyx Reyna. So, 131 stacks for Nazebo. Nothing crazy, but he is getting there. He's absolutely getting there with his hero. And in 4 more levels, we are likely going to have him with 175 or more. Abathar. It would actually be kind of funny if they owled Abathar at some point. So that's another option that they have. Oh, the hook! But they didn't have the Gorge. It was on 4 more seconds on the cooldown. 19 stacks now for Stitches, so with this one he finally gets a bit of a movement speed advantage, is sitting at an extra 5% and is of course now reliant on 500 extra HP. This is starting to add up a bit. 142 stacks now for Nazebo, and for them it's not really all that bad to just be pinned down in their base. So without venturing out too much, that of course has the disadvantage that you're giving a lot of the camps up towards your opponent. But since the first Garden Terrors were already summoned, it means that now Team Daykwaza needs additional 3 seeds, and that's going to take a while, especially with Tyrande going for interrupts. And they can just keep those minion waves coming towards their base and allow Nazebo to get the stacks. Sits at 148 now. Great for him, needs another 25. Yeah, this is going to be a Violent Infection game. And late game Nazebo is brutal. I think we had in the tournament, including the group stage, only 1 or 2 games when Nazebo made it into the late game with Violent Infection. And both times his damage was just absolutely crazy. All of the other times, they either didn't stack quickly enough, picked him for example on Battlefield of Eternity, more so for his value against the Immortal, and then ended up just picking the upgrade for the Ravenous Spirit, or we had quick kills against him and the game ended and they were too far behind. But that is now a real opportunity to capitalize on that level 20 talent. Nick should get that for sure. I mean, the stacks are there. He just needs to get the experience, and they need to make sure that they're not losing too many keeps until that happens. Oh, yeah, that hook. Breeze didn't even flinch. Yeah, Breeze was fine there. Okay, so we get the second seed. That makes it interesting because seems like the next Garden Terror is going to hit before we have level 20 for Team Nick. Couldn't interrupt it often enough. 20,000 damage for Reyna, top damage for the team together with Tyrande, who's also sitting at 20k. Gets doubled by Orphea. Nazebo only with 15,000, but again, he's been focusing on the siege damage the entire time. And they're still 1.5 level away from their level 20. So, that's the late game that we're talking about here. And the next seed is spawning. Team Nick will have to defend against the Garden Terrors. Yeah, that might be problematic because they're gonna spawn very, very close to those keeps. I don't think they can fight for this. I really don't. They were hoping for a hook here, as you can see. If they land the hook and then can go for a Gorge kill, that would allow them to go and contest that seed, but I don't really think so. So the Vikings are still pushing this out at the side, trying to get the experience for all of them. The hook connects. It's not going to be enough. I'm not sure if I would have even done that. It feels like this is just going to be the end of Stitches. Yeah, he just killed himself. That's all that he accomplished with that little move, so not really sure if that was really worth it. Now they get the camps, and yeah, it's defense time. Make sure that you don't lose too many of the keeps. get that half level. But the timing is great for Team Daykwaza, because if they can now take these keeps down and maybe even go for core, then the entire Nazebo factor doesn't come into play. It's the best chance that they have. Just eliminate the Nazebo factor before it's even a thing. But in the mid lane, yeah, that one gets easily taken out. That's where Exterminator, of course, gives them added value. But the keep at the bottom of the map, I think they can kiss this one goodbye. Transgression is now there, and they need to keep everybody still alive here and save that core somehow. So the first keep is gone. They're still defending the top. Jimmy is there. They're not looking at 20 yet. They don't have 20. And it seems like Daykwaza and his boys might want to end here. This is the best chance that they have. After this, Nazebo has the Vile Infection. They know it. They know it. They're trying to end it right now. Seven-sided strike. The core is falling. They're gonna end the game. Nazebo is never gonna get the Vile Infection. And we are going to game number 5. Team Daykwaza just in time with the victory. We're actually going to map 5. I'm going to be very honest, I did not think that we would be here, but that timing on the last attack couldn't have been more perfect. Just before Nazebo gets his Vile Infection. Just before he gets the Vile Infection, they are able to take the core down. They would have been punished afterwards. Nazebo is so incredibly brutal. So we'll see what they can do now in the 5th map. I mean, again, this is already 60 heroes banned before we're entering the draft, and now another 60, of course, are banned during the draft. So things will be really interesting here. We even had the Butcher banned in one of the previous games, and technically we could see him. Could also see Abathar, of course. So, very excited for this one. Very, very excited for this. But let me see what we're getting. We have the ban on my EF that doesn't shock. Chen is out. Dragonshy is the map, so that already puts a bit of a different aspect to the entire game as well, because this is very heavily based on rotations too. So we're not only talking about big team fights that you want to be looking for, but also about how well can you coordinate the shrines, how well can you go for the objective here too. So time will tell. But yeah, I am definitely ready for some crazy comps. Map 5, I mean, are you kidding me? At the end of this one, we're gonna have 66 heroes banned out. Mephisto is eliminated. And what are we going for as a first pick? I don't even know what I want here. I was thinking earlier maybe about an Asmodan again and just trying to go for the demonic invasion. I'm still a little bit salty that he didn't do this yesterday, because I think it would have been a great option to try and cheese some structures down. But Uther is still up. Supports are of course starting to become a rare commodity, so Uther gets now claimed. And the blue team has to be real careful. If they don't pick their support now, there is a chance that the support gets banned and others get picked by Team Nick, and they're trying to choke that roll out a little bit. So you really have to be careful at this point, that you're not ending up without a support. Lily, for example, is still up. There's Arthas and Zul'jin. Alright, Arthas and Zul'jin. But now the question, what are we going to get as picks? And do they ban out another support? You can really try and choke this out a little bit. Now, to be fair, Zul'jin has some self-heal. Arthas obviously has the coil build that he could go for. So we have seen already a couple of... Actually, we've seen one game where a team played without a support and won. But can you do that again? We'll see. They pick Lily. They do it. So they play Uther in the main tank position. They have Lily together with that. Carrigan from Nick. And now they're going to ban a support. Well, not the blue team. The red team, of course. But if you start with Arthas Zul'jin, you kind of know that's going to happen. But this is still not going to be an easy one. Even if you have some sustain on your own heroes and you're playing a very coordinated game, without support in the late game, it's going to be problematic. The Cho'Gall ban is not a bad idea either. So yeah, Cho'Gall gets banned. And now we must see the ban here. I think Morales is still available. She hasn't been played yet. Don't even know if there's any other support that is still up, honestly. Actually, there's multiple around. Oriel and Morales are both still available. So yeah, my bad. I thought we had one less. So you definitely have your pick. That makes Lily a bit of a weird one, though. Blind against Suljin, I mean, honestly, I don't buy it. Like, Lily as the second support, I would have really liked someone else then. Slipped my mind that we still have also Oriel in play. I thought it was only Morales left, but yeah, so you can't choke them out here. There's Oriel over Morales. And that... Oof, that is not bad. Dude, like, that is... Oriel together with Suljin, you get Probius, you have Arthas here too. That's a solid comp, I like that. Yeah, Probius can be super annoying when it played well. I mean, has to be careful because Kerrigan can rip the probe apart very quickly. It's not really a hit point heavy hero. So it's all about how well Kerrigan can engage here. And the Divine Shield on Kerrigan, of course, adds a little bit more pep to that composition. But here come the last two picks for them. Nova and Kel'Thuzad. Oh my god. Nova and Kel'Thuzad with the Kerrigan. Holy hell. Okay, here we go. We got Sarah Kerrigan twice in the game. And Kala, the final pick on the final map for Team Daykwaza, Dragonshire, and we get Artanis. Yeah, Artanis. Look at this. You have to ban only 66 heroes, and then Artanis becomes an option at least for picking. So let's see who wins this one. But yeah, that is amazing. Arthas Artanis with Suljin and Probius. Kel'Thuzad Nova on the other side. God, that's glorious. Game number 5. Let's go, everybody. Team Daykwaza against Team Nick. Dragonshire is the map, and we got our game on hand. Daykwaza against Team Nick with Daykwaza himself on Artanis. Look at him. Only 66 heroes need to be banned until Artanis becomes viable. Kala on Suljin, Breeze on Arthas. We have no game, no life on Probius, and Henning on Oriel. To the right side of the map, it's a wild composition for Team Nick, but I love it. We get the double Kerrigan. Nick on Kerrigan and Rutsu on Nova, so we get both forms. The main tank, Uther, played by Marlo. We get Yazu and Kel'Thuzad, and my try is playing Lily. Let's go. Top side, already some damage being done here. And yep, that's the first tower that goes down immediately. At the same time, though, here comes the cavalry trying to deal with it. Artanis with the swap that did nothing. This is going to be glorious. I'm really looking forward to this. Kel'Thuzad is always fun. Yasu playing him in this case. So it's kind of wild that Yasu is not playing one of the two supports here. But we've seen him on Stitches, and his Stitches game is, of course, absolutely fantastic. So as it stands on level 1 for Uther, we get the Wave of Light. And Suljin is going to be pretty fun in the late game. We've seen multiple Suljin games by now, and if you can stack him properly, then he is a monster. I really would like, though, him not go for Guillotine. I just don't like it. Rutsu played that style once. I'm not really a fan. I mean, again, Rutsu played a bit of a different version of him, so it's fine. But I really think that the Arcanite Axe variation with Tazdingo seems to just be better suited for these games. But as we're talking about the Troll, he goes down, so Suljin gets dropped as player killer number 1, teams up with Kel'Thuzad, and that's a kill. Rutsu is just roaming the map looking for new targets, and for a couple of hits, so good for him. Yeah, I like it quite a bit. And we have some stacks coming together also for Arthas. We have also baseline stacks, good ones, this early in the game. Master of the Cold Dark for our boy Kel'Thuzad, so that's pretty neat. Came into with the barbed chains here. And that's a very early stacking for Yasu, so good on him. If he can continue that, he's going to have his baseline quest completed in absolute no time. With all of that said and done, Marlo gets attacked down here at the bottom. Already the first pressure against the Dragonite in the middle of the map. And here comes the Photon Barrier. And Daykwaza. Daykwaza actually likes to play Artanis for funsies. Talked a bit about that in Miami. I said the hero is unfortunately way too bad to play him in competitive play, but YOLOing around with him big in quick matches is of course always quite an option. So it's not like he picked him just up. He definitely has some experience on that. Uther's the first one to fall on the red team side, and still an opportunity to maybe go for the DK, but Kerrigan has taken over the shrine at the top. So there's that. And, well, this is a pretty good start for the blue team now. They are applying pressure towards the objective still. We're seeing the bot lane also more or less taken apart, at least the wall. And with more pressure in the middle of the map, the red team has to now defend multiple points at the same time. Is risking damage at the bottom of the map. Has to be careful that the Dragonite doesn't get taken. And, well, there we go. The Yasuo is already at the bot lane, very much so alone, and finally is receiving a bit of aid. Needs the assistance here to defend. Carrigan with a combo attempt. That one didn't quite work out. 6 stacks for now also for Suljin. Rutsu trying to walk Nova down. That didn't work out though, and the swap of Artanis isn't hitting either. Yeah, I really like it. Really like it at this point. We have a very fun 5th map. Not too Clown Fiesta. Pretty good compositions here, given the circumstances. Again, keep in mind, 66 heroes have been banned. So this is what happens when you ban out that many heroes. There's the Arcanite access. So now we can stack for the late game. And that, of course, is exactly what they're going to be looking for. Trying to just slowly but steadily rack up the damage on Suljin. They're getting a kill on Nova too. Great for them. Yep, that's actually pretty awesome. So, down here at the bottom of the map, the fort is likely going to fall. Enormous amounts of pressure from the blue team. They are not letting up on it. They're just keeping the pressure up. It's not even just fighting for the objective. It's just pressuring on structures and making sure that they are not giving Team Nick a leg to stand on. Good body blocking here against my try. I like it. Daykwaza could go for another swap if he gets the cooldown back in time. But Lily, of course, healing herself up too. The blue team has switched into the mid lane now, trying for another fort. We got stacks getting together here for the baseline on Suljin. We have Arthur's getting a few more connected. And Kel'Thuzad is nearly done now. Kel'Thuzad is nearly done with his baseline. That is going to boost his damage output. I mean, it's 2 kills to 1, so despite the structural damage in experience and also in kills, they're looking pretty much the same. Marlo with his frontline Uther needs to be a bit careful here, of course, as he's starting to tank this one up. Quest is completed for Kel'Thuzad, so they can try and siege up around that a bit. Level 10 abilities are obviously going to be just brilliant in this game. Once that we're having Nova with hers, and then also Carrigan, Uther with the Divine Shield. I mean, he could technically also go for the stuns, but Divine Shield Carrigan would be pretty brilliant too. It's such a great setup that they're running here. Daykwaza has to be a bit careful, and he's caught on the wrong side of this fight. Tries to swap himself out. Arthas is dead, and Artanis is once again being used as a punching bag and dies too. Stacks are slowly coming together for Suljin though, and as long as he is getting a say in those team fights, he will be able to increase his output towards the late game. We have the Tazdingo, so he goes for the safe option on his hero. Aegis is in, and they get maybe even a kill now. Dragonite is taken, nicely done by the red team. They're sacrificing Uther for it, but here comes the next play at level 10 on both sides. Artanis obviously moving in with the blind, and there is the Divine Shield, so they're going to empower Carrigan a little bit further with this. But not badly done. The Orbital Strike is also in. And the Dragonite is getting meh value. Couple of Lightning Breaths are in. And that's not too shabby. But can deal with the minion wave, can push that out, create a little bit more space for the rest of the team. But I don't think that they're going to be able to take a lot of structures down. So they're buying themselves maybe a bit of time. But generally speaking, it just still feels like it is the blue team in particular that is making the big moves. And as I say it, they're catching the probe, and the probe goes down. Probius is dead. They go for another kill. Oh, and they hit. The double kill. Nice. Pretty big plays here also by Nova. That orbital strike combo was glorious, which is exactly why we're taking another look at it. So yeah, nicely done. I mean, check this one out. It was really well done, but the setup from Kel'Thuzad was great, and then Nova just absolutely profited from that setup, was able to deliver the first kill, and then they went for the second after Suljin got his ult through. That helped him to get a few more stacks together, but he's still sitting at 12, so he doesn't even have the range extension yet for his auto attacks. Good damage from Nova. They have 6 kills against 3 now. So they are fighting back. They lost 2 forts already. Structurally, they are trailing behind. But if they can continue killing heroes, then with increased death timers, this will work in their favor as things continue. Okay, so with that we got 23,000 now for Kel'Thuzad. We have 11,000 for Probius. Probius top damage on the blue team. Yeah, that's what Sul'jin has to contest with. Artanis is still looking for kill opportunities, maybe together with Arthas if they can isolate someone. But so far that hasn't really worked out just yet. We got the level 13 talents in, so yeah, good for them. And obviously, as you can see here at the bottom of the map, we have another camp taken. This is really where we have a lot of value from the blue team. They got Artanis with the amateur opponents, so they can try and take some camps with him. They got Probius for the clear, and that allows for more pressure on the lanes, and it has in the end resulted in 2 forts getting taken down. So, yeah. But well, as it stands, the red team has to now somehow try and find their own rhythm here, and for that they need, as I said, to get some kills. Ult being used on Lili, that didn't do anything, but they're trying to come in, and even the orbital doesn't hit anything. So that's a few ults that they dropped that didn't get any value whatsoever. At best, zoned them out. Breeze is moving in, gets stunned out. The Aegis saves him for now. Kerrigan with the Chrysalis, and the death of Arthas as Nick jumps out of the fight. Kala able to get some additional hits in, but needs to stay away from Nova. Or that could be another kill. Pops his ult, tries to move in, will die. Should have gone for a few more auto attacks. He's at 19, so he doesn't get a lot, honestly. I mean, the pretty big problem that Sul'jin currently has is there are not a lot of long sustained fights here that he can capitalize on. So you only get small windows where he can hit some auto attacks, and that's it. While that still means that he is stacking and that his late game is scaling, it also means at the same time that it is a slow process for him. Ah, what a swap! Daykwaza, the god! Getting the hit in, it allows them to take down Kel'Thuzad. 4 kills to 8 now. Nearly even experience for the two. It's a beautiful 5th map. An absolute beautiful 5th map that we see between the two of them now. Level 13 gave us also the Ensnare. How much damage does Nova actually have? She's sitting at 22,000. Kel'Thuzad is still the top damage dealer, but the pressure continues at the bottom of the map. And I love that the blue team is playing it like this. They're starting to come in time and time again, trying to just pressure lanes and, yeah, play to the strengths of their composition, and they do it really well. Divine Shield is saving Lili. The red team is looking for more opportunities to get kills and then capitalize on the death timers. Here comes the ult from Kel'Thuzad, sets it up. And Nova is still on cooldown though, so she can't contribute with extra damage. But Kerrigan is diving in deep, nearly gets the kill. Chrysalis, Henning is still alive, and Nick dies to Artanis, adding insult to injury. Nicely done, and they're chasing them hard. Sul'jin is getting stacks, he's getting the kills, he takes Lili down. They have level 16, a big swap against Nova, and the pressure continues. So much CC now as well. Oriel finally dies, so does Arthas. They might have overstayed their welcome just a little bit. Kel'Thuzad with a double kill, but he himself also gets murdered a second later. So now we got 29 stacks for the baseline for Sul'jin. The double flip on the axis is very, very close for them right now. He has 19 stacks towards the level 7 already. Both teams are on 16 talents, and Arthas went into Remorseless Winter and the Biting Cold. In big fights, when we have full melee aggression with Uther and Kerrigan moving in against them, those talents on Arthas are just glorious. They do so well for them. So now we get the Dragonite, the first one actually, for Team Daykwaza. That's of course a big opportunity now to at least take the fort in the mid lane down, if not the keep at the bottom of the map. But Nick is already dealing with the Siege Giants. Once that we have level 20, there's also going to be some real spicy upgrades, and let's not forget about those. So we have 28,000 damage by Probius now. Sul'jin is slowly catching up, but it's going to take a lot more time for him to really ramp up his baseline stacks and also the level 7 stacks so that he can surpass the probe. It's still Kel'Thuzad who holds the top numbers in the game with 43,000 that he's running here. Player killer number 1 though. Oh, they want him. No! They get the kill, but they deny the damage to Nova. Rutsu at least cut the path of retreat off, so Arthas just gets deleted. Lich King my ass. They're still trying to go for the Dragonite as the fort in the mid lane gets destroyed. And Sul'jin is already realizing that this might not end well for him. He's on the run. He's just like, team, help! The stun! And didn't even get to use his ult. Didn't even get to use his ult. But okay, we got up the top lane. Nick dealing with the wave. At this point, Kerrigan is top damage on Siege for the team with 136,000. And down to the bottom of the map, we're currently looking at the next camp being claimed. So the blue team is really gaining a lot of momentum here. It's kind of wild, because on the one hand you have the blue team just pushing, getting more of the structures, really threatening the first keep. And then at the same time, thanks to the kills, and as I mentioned previously, the increased death timers as time continues, with every single team fight that Team Nick wins, they all of a sudden have time on the map they can use to claim some camps and then also take structures down. But they haven't technically deleted a single fort yet, so they're working on that as we speak. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. So let's have a look for now what's happening here. Because with half a level missing until 20, it's gonna get interesting once we have Storm Talons. The one thing that is really a bit of a danger is that with all of the squishy heroes that we have for Nick's team, if they start losing Kel'Thuzad and Nova, then you are going to you're going to be chased hard. That's the big risk here. But as it stands, it's still fairly even. And for map number 5 in the series, it's just amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So, 29 stacks for Suljin. There's a swap. Can they get the kill here? Cleanse is already out. Artanis wants the hits. He completes the quest. Divine Shield. Ooh, this is where Arthas could shine if he just gets close enough to use his aura. Can he slow them down a bit further? Not quite now. But we have the double swing now for Suljin, so he will start stacking. But given the fact that we're already at level 20, he is not really at a great number here for his damage. So for now, things are still fine for Team Nick. Pretty fine. But yeah, either way, we got with level 20, first of all, the Damned returned. We got the Precision Barrage and the Double Dragon. And they are finally in a position where they can take a fort down, or at least I hope so. So currently they're making the way through the bot lane. They got their Siege Giants here too. Maybe that's the first fort that they're dropping. But now the big upgrade for Suljin with the Armani Resilience. We got the Anti-Magic Shell as well. And here comes the Zala charge for Artanis. 32,000 damage for the probe, 26,000 for Suljin. Dragonite, yeah, each team had one up to this point. Siege Giants can do a little bit more damage down at the bottom of the map, but of course by now we have one fort destroyed. Kerrigan is looking at the second shrine, but Nick will have to move out from here pretty quickly. The entire blue team is fully willing to contest that shrine and go into the battle, so they're starting to move in as we speak. Howling Blast connects with Uther, but they're not following up on it just yet. Probius also with top damage on Siege, by the way. And Probius has only died once. They didn't get a lot of kills in against him. There's the lockdown. Aegis is in. One of the problems with Aegis, by the way, is that sometimes it just paints a target on the hero that you want to save. And Nova, for example, could follow up on that. So that makes it oftentimes quite tricky. But in this case, they didn't even try. So Nova is still sitting in the middle of the map and is helping out here. But at the top, the siege just continues. Pylons everywhere, get slowly taken down. Nick is trying to get it again. If they claim this while Nova is sitting in the mid lane, that's an instant Dragonite, of course. And besides that, we got also Siege Giants down here at the bot lane still doing a bit of damage. Not for much longer, but up top side, they're going for the ults now. So we got Lili committing straight to the Double Dragon. They're starting to make the play here. First Barrage is already out. They're going for the strike. Ult from Kel'Thuzad. The turn against Nick, and he dies first. Nick is dead. Kel'Thuzad gets dropped, and that's the squishy slowly gone. Another swap by Daykwaza. They're going to get farmed here. They can't run away from Arthas. It's just not possible. If next hit is coming as Nova is trying to at least get a counter kill. Lili was able to escape, so is Uther. So the two of them get away. I have no idea why Rutsu turned around here. I have no clue why he just thought turning around and getting another shot in would be a good idea. He slows himself down, gets crushed. Lili retakes topside now, or at least steals it away. That's the best that she can do, but they want to go for core. They go for the keep. They make their move right here. And this is bad news for the team in red. They get the Dragonite. They at least take that, but I don't think it's gonna matter anymore. Only Lily and Uther are alive. Everybody else is still dead for at least 10 seconds. That's the victory for Team Daykwaza. They pull it off after all. They win 2 maps in a row, and they take it here in the losers bracket of Meta Madness and advance to the next round.